Hey guys, Austin Zulauf here, and I'm down in Orlando, Florida right now on business, but I wanted to take the time to cut a quick video for you on something that I feel is very important. Now, I know time is super valuable, so I hope the time we spend together today creates a higher value for some of the listeners. I feel the message is pretty much always life-changing for those who are looking to change for the better or to grow personally. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to look at what we have to discuss today with intent on growing. I was recently asked by a partner of mine how I always stay so positive. I laughed at it actually because they said it seemed like everything always goes right for me. They said people are always joining your business, you're always making money, people seem to flock to you, everybody likes you. They actually had the nerve to say, "You're so lucky." But what's funny about that is we all know luck is when preparation meets opportunity, and I find that the harder that I work, the luckier I get. So a key that I can give you is to know exactly what you want in life, in vivid detail. Have it written down. That way when opportunity presents itself, and it always does, always. And when it does present itself, you can actually be prepared for it. But it's not that I'm lucky. I am, but that's not the case. That's not the reason for my success. It's because I expect things to go my way. I expect things to happen the way that I want. And that's super, super powerful when you understand it. So let me explain why, because I know it sounds too simple for a lot of people. I'll explain it by a story. When I was 12 years old, my mom joined a company called Combined Insurance, and they had a philosophy they called the PMA, or Positive Mental Attitude Philosophy. They defined a positive mental attitude as a state of mind that continues to seek, find, and execute a way to win regardless of situation or circumstance. And that was so fitting for me. Just a no excuses personality type, That's the right attitude for any situation. It's never advantageous for you to accept a negative thought or create an excuse for not having the life you want. A buddy of mine down in Texas, he used to say that excuses are monuments of nothingness and build bridges to nowhere. I love that. But it's difficult for a person to accept I am the reason for my life. Whether it's failure, whether it's success, whatever, you are the reason for it. No one else. But I'm getting sidetracked. So, anyway, Mom became the #1 district manager in the nation. She set records. She broke every record they had for sales. And then she actually broke those records again. So, through meetings and incentive trips, I got exposure to a lot of the top salespeople and top motivational speakers in the world at a very young age, 13, 14, 15 years old. And at a young age, I joined that company when I was 19 and was promoted to divisional sales trainer officially by age 21. So that was pretty cool. But being exposed to all of those great people, I saw something. I learned a universal truth. A colossal principle that changed the course of my life forever. And it's so simple, but it's hard for some people to accept. And I want to share it with you today. Alright? People do what you expect them to do. It's so simple. But I could go deeper than that and say your immediate world around you as you see it is directly a product of your thoughts. I can prove it. That's one thing that a lot of people don't do. I can prove this. More than 2 decades ago, Harvard University's Robert Rosenthal performed a study on the effects of external expectations on our performance. You'll never believe the results. He believed that scientists and researchers could unintentionally influence the outcome of their experiments by expecting certain things to happen. He tested the idea by giving about a dozen experimenters a few different rats, I think it was 5 different rats, with instructions to teach the rats to run a maze with the aid of visual cues. Now, the rats were identical, but Rosenthal told the experimenters that half the rats had been bred to be maize bright rats and the other half maize dull. Now, at the end of the experiments, the rats whose trainers were told they were brighter actually performed better, believe it or not. They performed better than the so-called dull rats. Rosenthal repeated the experiment with a group of different rats and different experimenters, in fact, and the results were somehow the same. You know, somehow the experimenters' expectations were communicated to the rats. Believe it or not, we actually can affect the world around us by how we think, and the world will respond accordingly to how we see it. Now, for those of you guys saying, I'm not rats, good point. Good point. Rosenthal actually did an experiment that was kind of similar in schools with an IQ testing situation, and the students that were the maize bright rats scored an average of 15 points higher than the others whose teachers weren't told about their alleged genius. So not only does that work with rats, but that also works with people. People do what you expect them to do. Believe it. Buy into it. Your life will be a lot easier. Henry Ford actually said, if you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right either way. Our thoughts become things, guys, so my advice for young entrepreneurs or anyone wanting a better life is acceptance and mental conditioning. Accept your life. I mean, accept it, you know, the fact that you and only you can change it. You can mold it, shape it into whatever you can possibly believe in your mind. One quote I really like is, whatever you can conceive and believe, you can achieve. You know, strengthen your mind with bricks and a fortress of knowledge and higher expectation. Visualization is super important. You know, so my challenge to you today is to strengthen your mind. Is to go out there with love in your heart and just be, you know, write down definite written plans of achievement and start to buy into the fact that you can create the world around you with your thoughts. So with that, I love each and every one of you guys. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video, and I'll see you guys at success. Thanks.